Hi friends, welcome to my channel. This is Loli. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, thank you so much and I love you dearly. Today we have a special one. I took one of these hearts that I got during Valentine's Day at Dollartree, and I'm going to cover it up with some green paint that I used at the Dollar Tree. I'm covering it up with the paint first because I just don't want to have the white see-through for the next part of this DIY. I found it to be easier to just use a dauber and cover the entire part using this. Then I put it to the side to dry, and I'm taking some floral moss from the Dollar Tree and putting it down into my container, making sure that I'm breaking it apart so it flows or it adheres pretty well to my foam. So now I'm using some hot glue and adding it to my foam in small sections and dipping it onto my floral moss, tapping it down, making sure that everything is glued correctly and it has a nice adhesion. I remove any excess that didn't glue down, and I go over and repeat the same process with another small section, and I keep dipping and adding my moss until my heart is completely covered. I trim as I go because I feel that it gives me a better way of seeing where things didn't glue just yet, any blank spaces. So I just keep doing that and filling in the holes and the gaps and working in small sections to make sure that my glue doesn't dry pretty quickly. Just continue this process until your heart is completely covered. To have some variation to the color and texture, I used some reindeer moss to also add to these pieces. So I took my heart and make sure to remove any little loose ends or little things that did not glue down. And once that's done, I took some of the reindeer moss, I cut it in small pieces or shredded it down to small pieces. And then we're gonna be adding it as well to add another part of moss to it, just to vary the colors and the texture of the grass, just to make it look a little bit more natural. What I did was just add some hot glue to some random places and press it down onto the moss, and then just make sure that all the glue was covered up. And then we are going to go ahead and shake things up again, making sure to remove any areas that did not glue down so this doesn't shed. During the process, we get a lot of little glue webs, so I just make sure to remove those as well so it doesn't just look like things glued on. So here I'm just cleaning up any excess of the reindeer moss that might not have gotten stuck to the surface there, and I'm going to use those same pieces to add reindeer moss to the back of this form as well. Now it's time for a haircut. So just make sure to remove any excess foam that might be sticking out and just shake off the other hairs. Some areas were a little bit thicker than others, so I'm just trimming it down for it to make sure that it retains the heart shape. I took some of these dowel rods from the Dollar Tree. I took only one, and I'm going to use my antique wax to stain it. While that dry, I took this pail from the Dollar Tree. I got it during springtime, and some of this floral foam. What I did was took a piece of the floral foam. I find that it's easier to cut it using my spatula to the section that I expect to use. Then I took some hot glue and just put it in the bottom of the pan and put my floral foam right on there. I left the plastic because I find it to be less messy. It doesn't break apart, and that dust doesn't go all over the place. So now I'm going to put a hole in the bottom of my heart. I use a stem from a pick in which I use the flowers to prime it, and then I'm using the dowel rod and just sticking it in there until it's nice and steady. Now I'm gonna take a cardboard and I'm gonna place the opening to my pail onto it, and I'm going to take a pencil and trace all the way around. Once I can clearly see my circle, I'm going to take a scissors and I'm going to cut a little bit closer to the middle of the heart, trying to be able to have the piece fit inside of my bowl. Now I try to find the middle, I take my scissors and I just stick my scissors in to create a little opening at the middle. Now I'm taking some paper towels that I got from things that were wrapped up for me at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using it to stuff it around the area around the floral foam. I just want to make sure that this has some support, that the floral foam doesn't tip over or it doesn't just move or something like that, just to give it a little bit more security. Then I take my glue gun and I make an indentation in my foam so I'm able to easily put my piece in, and I put my topiary through the piece of cardboard and through the heart, just making sure that everything matches properly before I glue anything down. So now I've added some hot glue to the paper and the foam, and I'm pressing down on the cardboard to create a nice surface for the next step of this DIY. Next, I press down on my cardboard. I make sure that everything is leveled, and we are going to secure it with a bead of hot glue all the way around. Just make sure to hold everything in place until the glue is completely dry. Once that part is complete, I take my topiary out. I add some hot glue to the hole and I place it right back down, making sure that it's facing the way that I want it to face, with having the letters of the pail show at the front, and I seal it up with some hot glue as well at the stem. While that sets up, I'm going to take some of these purple flowers I got from the Dollar Tree and we're going to add it to the front of the heart. I simply add a dab of glue to the back of it and press it down until it's completely dry and secure onto it. I had some flowers here that were, the stems at the end were kind of not completely, like they were, the last row of petals were kind of opened up. So what I did is I added a bit of hot glue and in between the petals. You see me there doing that, and then press it against each other to have the same effect as the other flowers. I wanted them all to be rose buds. Once the petals were dried and attached properly, I added some hot glue to the back of the stem there, the bottom of the rosebud, and attached it on there. I did a total of 6 buds for this project. Here is once again what I did when I had the flowers open too much. Again, I added some glue in the middle, squeeze them together, and then put hot glue in the back and put it back on there. Now, here I'm not showing the last rosebud I attached, but you'll see it afterwards. So now I am taking my white paint. I'm using acrylic paint to cover up this. I want to be using these rocks and I didn't want the bottom to show through, so I painted that first. Once everything was dry, I added hot glue and attached my white rocks to the bottom. I just kept adding the glue and then putting the rocks on top, waiting for them to dry. Then I shake off to see what did not stay adhered, and I just kept repeating that same process of adding glue, putting the rocks on top, letting them dry, shaking them off, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Once the middle was covered, I am working now on the ends. I'm adding bits of hot glue in the ends and finding little tiny rocks that will fit that space, and just making sure that I shove them right in there for them to be properly attached with the hot glue. And I'm also going in between the middle there to see any pieces in which the hot glue shows, to add some more rocks on top of it to make this as neat and beautiful as possible. So here you see once I added the other flower, a total of 6, and I'm adding a ribbon to the stem as well. I just took this ribbon that I got during Easter in Dollartree, and I wanted to use it since it was purple and I love polka dots, so why not? So I added that little bow there. Just use a simple bow, just making sure that my tails were looking in the same directions and tighten it up. I cut the excess once I was happy with the size of my bow. Took the tails, folded them in half, and cut slanted in order to have dovetails. And once that was done, I took a tiny bit of hot glue, put it to the back of the bow, and pressed it against the stem to make sure that that stayed put. And here is the finished product. I am in love with this version. This was an order for a previous customer. I have made one this having red roses, and she loved it and wants another one. So here we go. Thank you guys for watching as always. I love you all. Stay blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. Bye.